Welcome to our YouTube channel Dream Dynamics.
Have you ever noticed that the harder you chase something, the farther it seems to slip away? This paradox is one of life's most profound truths. The pursuit of success, happiness, or peace often becomes the very obstacle to attaining it. It's as if life whispers, "Stop chasing, be still." Zen and Buddhist philosophy offer a timeless insight into this mystery. Attachment to outcomes binds us to struggle. When we let go of our grip on expectations and surrender to the present moment, we invite possibilities beyond imagination. He who clutches tightly loses what he seeks, while he who opens his hands receives without asking. This wisdom forms the foundation of a tale, a journey of transformation, surrender, and the mysterious power of letting go. Long ago, in a serene forest encircled by towering cliffs, there lived a young monk named Tao. He was filled with fervor, driven by an unshakable desire to achieve enlightenment. From the break of dawn to the stillness of night, Tao meditated with steadfast discipline. His practice was rigorous, his focus unwavering, and yet peace eluded him. Each day he sat cross-legged beneath an ancient tree, striving to silence his worldly attachments. Yet, the more he tried, the more restless his mind became. Doubts crept in like shadows at dusk. Am I not worthy? Why can't I find what others have? What am I doing wrong? One day, seeking solace, Tao ventured to a waterfall hidden deep within the forest. As he sat by the rushing water, his gaze lingered on its effortless flow. The water did not strain or struggle. It simply surrendered to gravity, cascading freely down the rocks into the river below. The sight stirred something within him, a flicker of understanding. Nature, it seemed, moved without resistance or attachment. But understanding this truth was not enough. Tao's heart still yearned for results. He clenched his fists in frustration and vowed to redouble his efforts. He meditated harder, forcing his breath to slow, his mind to empty, and his thoughts to vanish. Yet the harder he pushed, the more chaotic his inner world became. Peace felt, oh man, so fierce, the farther away than ever. One evening, as Tao sat in quiet desperation, his master approached. The elder monk, a man of few words, had an aura of serene wisdom. His presence alone seemed to quiet the forest. Sitting beside Tao, the master spoke softly. "Your mind," he said, "is like a clenched fist. The tighter you squeeze, the more energy you waste, and the less you hold. Would you like to hear a story about the art of letting go?" Tao nodded eagerly, his eyes reflecting both hope and doubt. The master began. There was once a farmer who lived in a land plagued by drought. Each day he prayed for rain, dug trenches, and lamented his misfortune. His fields remained dry, his crops withered, and despair consumed him. One day, a wanderer passed through the farmer's land and observed his struggle. The sage said, "Stop chasing the rain, tend to the soil, nurture the seeds, and let the sky decide." Though skeptical, the farmer followed this advice. He shifted his focus to enriching the earth, caring for the seeds without expectation. Then, without warning, the rains came, bringing a bountiful harvest. "Why did this happen?" the farmer asked the wanderer. The sage replied, "When you stop grasping at the sky, you make room for miracles to descend." The master paused and placed a hand on Tao's shoulder. "Stop chasing peace as the farmer chased rain. Tend to your practice with care, but without expectation. The results will come, but not through force. Tao was deeply moved by the story. He resolved to embrace the art of non-attachment, but his resolve was soon tested. As he meditated, thoughts would intrude. Am I doing this right? When will peace come? Day after day, he battled his expectations. Doubts whispered that his efforts were in vain. Yet a quiet voice within urged him to trust the process. One afternoon, while wandering the forest, Tao noticed a butterfly struggling to emerge from its cocoon. Its fragile wings quivered against the confines of the silken shell. Tao felt a pang of compassion and reached out to help. But his master, who had been observing from a distance, stopped him. "If you interfere," the master explained, "the butterfly will never gain the strength it needs to fly. Its struggle is its teacher. It is through resistance that transformation happens." The word struck Tao like a bell ringing in the stillness. He saw a reflection of his own journey in the butterfly's struggle. Enlightenment, like the butterfly's flight, could not be forced. It had to unfold naturally, through patience and surrender. From that day, Tao began to shift his approach. He no longer meditated to achieve peace. Instead, he meditated to simply be present. He allowed himself to feel imperfect, to let his thoughts come and go without judgment. At first, nothing seemed to change. His mind still wandered, his doubts still lingered, but over time, subtle transformations began to take root. His breath grew deeper, like the steady rhythm of the waterfall. His thoughts became quieter, like leaves drifting on a gentle breeze. His heart grew lighter, unburdened by the weight of expectation. Tao no longer measured his progress or sought validation. He simply sat, allowing each moment to unfold as it would. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the forest in hues of gold and crimson, Tao entered a state of profound stillness. It was as if the entire world, the trees, the sky, the murmuring stream, had dissolved into his being. There were no boundaries, no separations. In that moment, a realization bloomed within him. Peace was never something to be achieved or found. It was always within him. Tao's journey reminds us that life flows like the waterfall, effortless and unyielding. When we stop resisting and release our attachment to outcomes, we align ourselves with the natural rhythms of the universe. True transformation is not a result of force, but of surrender, patience, and trust. In the end, the monk's story is our story. It is a call to tend to the soil of our lives with care, nurture our inner seeds of growth, and trust that the rains will come when the time is right. By letting go, we discover that what we seek is already within us, waiting to be revealed. When Tao shared his revelation with the master, the elder's face lit up with pride. "What you have experienced," the master said, "is the natural outcome of letting go. You have discovered that peace cannot be chased or captured. It arises when you clear the space for it. The river flows not because it forces itself downstream, but because it surrenders to gravity, trusting its course. So too must you trust the rhythm of life." Tao, still curious, asked, "Why is it that carrying deeply often blocks the results we seek?" The master replied, "Caring is not the issue. It is clinging that creates the barrier. When you hold onto an outcome with desperation, you invite resistance. Imagine trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter your grip, the more it slips away. But if you cup your hands gently, the water remains. Life works in the same way. Trust its flow, and it will bring you where you need to go. To illustrate his wisdom, the master shared a tale. There was once an archer who was determined to perfect his aim. He practiced relentlessly, pouring all his energy into hitting the bullseye. Yet, despite his dedication, his arrows often missed the mark. One day, an old archer observed him and said, "You are too fixated on the target. Relax your grip, steady your breath, and trust the arrow to find its path." At first, the young archer dismissed this advice as foolishness, but desperation led him to give it a try. To his astonishment, his aim improved dramatically. The key was not in striving harder, but in letting go of his obsession with the outcome. By trusting himself, he achieved the clarity he had been chasing. Tao reflects on how tempting this parable might be. He realized his own meditation practice had been like the archer's aim, rigid, forced, and burdened by expectations. From that moment, Tao began to integrate the art of letting go into every aspect of his life. When he worked in the temple garden, he stopped fixating on whether the flowers would bloom and instead found joy in the act of tending the soil. When he guided younger monks, he released his attachment to their success and focused on the purity of teaching. At first, this shift was challenging. Tao often caught himself slipping back into old habits of striving and self-criticism. But, as time passed, he noticed profound changes. His breath grew deeper, his thoughts quieter, and his heart lighter. He discovered that letting go was not about abandoning effort. It was about engaging fully without being consumed by the need for specific results. To help his students understand the essence of non-attachment, Tao devised a test. He filled a bowl with water and placed a single flower petal on its surface. Then he asked each student to retrieve the petal without spilling a drop of water. The first student plunged his hand into the bowl, creating waves that caused the petal to sink. The second student tried using his fingers delicately, but his trembling hand made ripples that pushed the petal away. Finally, Tao gently tilted the bowl. The water flowed naturally, and the petal drifted to the edge, where he easily retrieved it. This, he explained, is the art of letting go. When you force a situation, you create imbalance, but when you act in harmony with life's flow, results come to you naturally. Tao began to notice a curious pattern. Those who embraced non-attachment often achieved far more than those who clung desperately to their goals. One striking example was a potter in the nearby village. The potter had struggled for years to create the perfect vase. The harder he tried, the more flawed his creations became. After hearing Tao's teachings, the potter approached his work with a sense of playfulness and freedom. To his amazement, his craft improved dramatically. Soon, his vases became renowned for their beauty and elegance. When asked about his transformation, the potter said, "I stopped trying to make perfection and started enjoying the process of shaping the clay. In doing so, perfection found me." One evening, a young monk approached Tao with a question. "If letting go brings success, does that mean we should abandon our goals entirely?" the monk asked. Tao smiled. "Not at all. Goals are like the stars. They give you direction, but are not meant to be reached. What truly matters is how you walk the path toward them." He continued, "Life is like a dance. If you focus only on the final step, you miss the beauty of the movement. A dancer does not rush to finish the dance. They immerse themselves in each step, trusting the rhythm to guide them. By embracing the journey, you allow the results to come naturally." Tao often spoke of the universe's wisdom. "The river knows its path to the sea," he would say. The flower knows when to bloom. When you trust life's rhythm, you align yourself with a force greater than your understanding. One of Tao's most profound insights came when he observed a butterfly emerging from its cocoon. The struggle strengthens its wings. He realized, if we interfere, we rob it of the growth it needs to fly. Similarly, we must trust our struggles. They are shaping us in ways we cannot yet see. Patience became the cornerstone of Tao's teachings. He often compared it to planting a tree. When you plant a seed, he explained, you don't stand over it demanding it to grow. You water it, give it sunlight, and trust the earth to do its work. Over time, the tree grows, not because you forced it, but because you allowed it to thrive. As Tao neared the end of his life, he gathered his students one last time. Life, he said, is a river. When you swim against the current, you exhaust yourself and go nowhere. But when you surrender to the flow, you are carried effortlessly to your destination. Trust the river, trust life, and most importantly, trust yourself. Let go, and you will find that everything you seek is already within you. Tao's wisdom became a guiding light for generations, reminding all who heard it that true peace comes not from grasping but from releasing, not from striving but from surrendering. We truly appreciate your time and attention in watching this video. The story shared today about the art of letting go and its profound wisdom is meant to be a reminder for all of us. It's a timeless truth that many of us struggle to grasp fully. But once we do, it can transform the way we live, love, and experience the world. We hope that this message resonated with you in a meaningful way. We hope that you find this message resonated with you in a meaningful way. Your presence here matters, and we are so grateful that you have taken part in this journey with us. If this story touched your heart or made you think differently about your own approach to life, we would love for you to become a part of our growing community. By subscribing to our channel, you're not only ensuring that you stay updated on all our future videos, but you're also joining a space that encourages personal growth, reflection, and wisdom. Make sure to hit the notification bell as well, so you never miss out on life-changing insights. Every video we create is designed to help you navigate life with more clarity, peace, and intention. And we don't want you to miss any of it. We are here to provide you with tools, stories, and teachings that can help you grow and transform into the best version of yourself. We believe that true learning comes from shared experiences, and your perspective is incredibly valuable. We invite you to let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. What does letting go mean to you? How has this concept impacted your life, or how do you plan to integrate it moving forward? Your thoughts may inspire others, and your story may be just the piece of wisdom someone else needs to hear. We encourage open and respectful dialogue, and we look forward to reading what you have to share. Let's create a space where we can all learn from one another and continue to support each other on this path of personal development and growth.